Alright, welcome to the next episode of Decara Gaming. We're going to be going over teams that I believe are going to have a very big bonus when it comes to Gear 13. So while they might not be meta, and they won't end up being meta because of Gear 13, when you look at their counters, they're going to be able to scale a lot further fighting, let's say, Kylo Ren versus Night Sisters. Kylo Ren's going to scale a lot further because that's one of the teams I'm going to go over. So I want to talk about the teams, and we'll go over a few characters too that are getting what I believe will be big upgrades. Um, but when Gear 13 drops, who it'll have the biggest effects on. So when it comes to leaders, Adme is going to have a big effect on her team when Gear 13 drops. This happens because on her leadership, light side allies gain plus 50% max health. Now, when you look at what everyone's gaining out of Gear 13, health and protection are going to be the biggest value increases, especially with mods and everything else. When you look at a mod, how much offense a character has going from Gear 12 to Gear 13 is going to be a lot less than how much health or protection will go up. Now, everyone's still gaining offense. It's not to say like Grandmaster Yoda won't hit harder on your Darth Revan team. He absolutely will. But when you compare the two stat gains, the health and protection are going up more than the other ones. So Padme with a plus 50% max health one, her team is getting a large bonus out of this. Revan is another leader that will gain a big bonus, and that's because on his leadership, every time you do an assist call, people are gaining 20% of their max protection. So your survivability on a JKR team, it was already going up because of Gear 13, but now you're increasing the amount you're healed too. So JKR is getting a big bonus. When you look at JKR versus Darth Revan on his leadership is not really helping out his team except for the offense number. And again, that's a smaller bonus than the other stuff. So Darth Revan versus JKR when it comes to Gear 13, JKR is going to get a bigger bonus in the end, especially when you look at his unique too, something I didn't go over, but he's gaining max health and max protection with his unique. So those are more stat increases for this team than this team because no one over here is gaining max health or max protection. You're gaining potency, you're gaining offense and crit chance, numbers that aren't stacking as well than the max health and protection. Shock T, whenever she drops, you could tell that. I mean, they made the change with her dropping to where older characters are getting more protection. But you look at her leadership, and while the recovery of health and protection by 5% is great, it's also the max health and protection of the clone trooper allies is going up a lot too. So clone troopers, if you just look at it as like Shock T was dropping and the clone troopers were a wet noodle before, and now they're a slightly better wet noodle. When you think about their survivability, it went up a lot because of Gear 13 potential that's there. Would I do them first? I don't know. We'll see when she drops. Another team, so you have Bosk and you have Thrawn and Crew. All are leaders that gain health and protection with debuffs or when hit, whatever, and are, as a leader, are getting a bigger increase than their other teams. So if you look at Phasma versus Crew's leadership just got a lot better because of that 5% health and protection. I mean, he was already better, but the difference in them is even more so because you're healing for a lot more health and protection. When you look between Django and Bosk, like the difference between these two leaders is Bosk just became a lot better because the health and protection that you're healing on those 5% are a lot better. Another one to note is Traya too. People that do max health damage are getting a bigger buff because not only did they get an increase with offense, they're getting an increase with their damage because the max health of their group's gone up. So when people do assist calls and Darth Traya is reducing them by max health damage, she's doing a lot of damage there. And plus her healing on whenever she heals because a Sith hits someone at the debuff. So Traya is another team that's going to get a bigger increase than, let's say, a EP lead would, because EP is only feeding turn meter. Well, it does do max health for Sith, so I guess that is a good bonus. I feel like Treya's walking away better than that. S so those are teams I just wanted to go over. You have Kylo Ren, you have Bosk, Revan, Padme. I'm sure there's more out there, but they're all teams that deal with max health and max protection. So those teams are going to have a bigger advantage when Gear 13 drops than teams that are just saying they gain more potency or more critical hit avoidance, because those numbers aren't stacking. Like, you can't throw some percentage onto it and it's going up a lot. You can put critical hit avoidance mod on them, but that's just a flat number. You're getting 35% more critical hit avoidance, whereas you throw a 24% protection mod, as your protection increases, so does that number. Um, some honorable mentions as like single characters. Obviously, Nest is going to get a lot stronger when Gear 13 drops. Her survivability goes up a lot. Night Sisters, the Ventress and Daka both have stacking health, so they'll stack a little bit quicker. But I don't think that's looking at their Gear 12 and their Gear 12 Plus. I don't think it's going to be a massive increase. It'll help in raids, but PvP wise, I don't think their uniques are going to be that great. General Grievous obviously is going to be amazing because he gains so much health. Like, you have 6,250 health on both these pieces and 6,500 on both these pieces. So the difference in his health pool and what mods can do is insane when it comes to Grievous. His mods make such a large difference. And if you compare him to someone like Karth, where Karth has 2,300 base offense at Gear 12, and then he goes up 400 right here. If you take 1% of 2,300 or 1% of 27, like, you're only going up 4 offense per percentage increase. It's not much, but when you look at General Grievous's health pool, to go up from 20k base health to 40k base health, 1% of that is 200 health or 400 health. It's a very large number increase compared to the other one. So when you level up a mod, sometimes you only get 2 to 300 health on these, and when you level on a health stat, but when you look at offense, you're getting like 30 on that. So one of them is a complete mod upgrade. The other one, when you're only getting like 4 per percentage up, and the other one's giving you 200 per percentage up, you can kind of look like one's a full mod increase. Like, you leveled a mod one more level and got one more stat increase, where the other one, it's just like 3 to 4 offense per upgrade isn't much. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. But General Grievous, shout out to him. CLS will go up not because he has stacking protection or health, but because CLS has survivability with recovery of those numbers. So he will throw the med pack on him. He does have a bigger health pool and all this. These pieces right here are giving him 2,000 each. So his health pool is bigger. But then you also have to look at his recovery with call to action. So people that are recovering health and protection, again, you have a larger pool now, so it's a lot more to get through. And when you look at the offense versus health, you're not gaining as much offense with Gear 13 as you are health. So those characters are getting more out of it. Then who else do we have? BB-8 will be able to heal more since his health pool will be going up. Other honorable mentions. So Darth Revan, not as a leader and not really helping the team, but helping himself, he has health equalizer. So with everyone on his team having a higher health pool, health equalizer will go a little bit further, which will come into place with Malik. So as you have a little bit more health pool to get through on the team, you might get more health equalization as it goes along. So he did have one thing that helps him, but I think a JKR is walking away with a lot more. Django gains plus 50 max health on his payout, so he's gaining a lot more. He's someone with the med pack. You have First Order Executioner. He's someone who works off of offense, but he gains bonuses off his max health as he goes, and he stacks max health. So that is a character kind of like Grievous, except built to where offense and health help him. That will get a lot better as it goes. So again, Crew is a great leader, and Fox on that team, who's the damage dealer, is also getting a very big bonus off Gear 13 compared to other characters. And another, three more we'll go over as honorable mentions. But another team is one of the ones that I cover. Big Z and Mission. They gain protection per dots with Big Z. And Big Z and Mission combo is going to get a lot better too, because that healing for protection is good. Vandor Chewie with his heal will be good. But Phoenix, surprisingly, when you look at their uniques, this is the last team I'm going to touch on. When you look at, let's say, Zeb, come here, where has a bonus max protection equal to 40% of his max health and recovers 15 protection at the start of his turn. Like people that are gaining health and protection are getting a big bonus. So maybe Gear 13 is the point where Wampa won't be able to solo an entire team. Maybe Gear 13 is what. So you have Zeb, you have Kanan also doing health recovery. All these things are going to play a big role in helping these teams. And Phoenix is a team that I think will benefit a lot from Gear 13. They wouldn't be on my priority list, but they are a team that will benefit a lot from Gear 13 compared to other teams. Like having a Newt lead isn't giving me nearly as much as having Hera give all the uniques of the Phoenix team around, because here I'm lowering speed and I'm lowering, can't even remember, potency. These numbers aren't stacking as well. So those are just a few teams I wanted to go over that I think are getting a bigger value out of Gear 13. Again, you have Kylo Ren and Bosk, who are going to be taking advantage of it as a leader. That's really good. Padme and Revan are getting decent bonuses with this. Revan because of that protection back, and Padme because just straight up on our leadership, she gives 50% more max health. And Shakti is one that we'll see when she drops. But obviously, when you look at her leadership, the amount that you're getting with 4 clone allies right here is a lot off that leadership. So 4 clone allies times 15%, you're talking 60 max health, 20% max protection. You're getting very big numbers, and her recovery on it is big too. So thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to go over my thoughts and theorycraft some of it with you all. I wrote down this table. I didn't go through all the champions, but those are some that just stood out to me and I wanted to talk about, because people are always asking, oh, well, with this coming out, what do you think is going to be good? And I think those teams are getting a bonus. I don't think any of them will be even more so meta than Padme and Revan. I think Padme will have a better chance at doing a lot more damage and survivability. And Revan, of course, getting more max health, more protection, and more survivability is going to be a factor too. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you all later.